Hi, everyone, and welcome to our first of a bunch of video announcements. This is actually a version of the very first digital content that we created forever ago, before the pandemic, even, if you can imagine it. So, we're going to be bringing you just a little bit of information about lots of wonderful things that we have coming your way. And I'm so grateful for Ian and for Lillian, who will be sharing in this. And I guess it begins. This video will be coming out on the 23rd. And later today, we're going to be having a town hall to be talking about the next phase of the COVID plan and worship, which Ian will be talking about a little bit, but it's going to be at 2:00. So do please come to that. It'll be wonderful to see you. We'll have folks from the board and the staff and the COVID task force and any of you there come with any of your questions. So yeah, that's coming soon. And I'll be back after a little bit and Ian will tell us a little bit more about worship.
Thank you, Chris. And hello, everyone. My name is Ian Garvey. I'm the director of music here at the First Church. And as I'm sure most of you know, due to the rapid spread of Omicron, much of what the music program offers is currently postponed, but there are some opportunities to still hear some wonderful music from the church community, as well as some upcoming, which I'll talk about now. We are planning to start our Sunday morning worship services again on February 13th, which, much like the Vespers services that are currently going on, will feature music from Simon and myself, the soloists, as well as other musical members of the community. We will be offering services at both 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock in the morning, as well as at 3 p.m. All of those services will have a very limited seating capacity, and there will be signups for those. So please keep an eye on your email for more information. For now, the Sunday worship video services include music every week, both new recordings as well as recordings made over the last 2 years. Those should be getting in your emails every Sunday morning, so do check those out. The Vespers services are also continuing every week with performances from our soloists as well as Simon and myself. Those services are Tuesday at 12 noon and Wednesdays and Thursdays at 6:30 in the evening. There are signups for those as well because capacity is limited. So those are available online and should be in your emails. So do check that out. It's a wonderful, wonderful service. The Children's Choir musical, I know many of you have been wondering about that. That has unfortunately been postponed yet again. We hope to begin rehearsing for a show by the middle of March, and we'll keep you updated as that time nears. I am still figuring out what show we will be able to do, since with the date change, our permission to perform Sister Act as originally planned was unfortunately denied by the publisher. So stay tuned for more information about that. The adult choirs also postponed at this time. Both the senior and the Nova choirs will begin rehearsing again as soon as the COVID task force and Chris and I determine that it is safe for us to do so. So we will let the community know as soon as we have more information about that. And finally, the Second Friday concerts for February and March have both also been postponed. We are planning on reopening the Second Friday concert series in April with the band Jim's Big Ego. Should be some fantastic music. Do check out the website secondfridayconcerts.org for more information about that. And that is it for the music program right now. So now I'll turn it over to Lillian for some word about the adult programs.
I am so happy to be with you today. And definitely after listening to what Ian and Chris had to say, I'm really interested to find out about Jim's Big Ego when that comes along. But I'm going to tell you about what's in store for programs at First Church. Even during this pandemic, we have been going full steam ahead, and there are so many ongoing programs. I want to tell you that what they are, because in fact, some of you may be aware of them, but maybe not the full depth and breadth of all that we have to offer. And so we have 2 film discussions, one on Black focus, one on spiritual films that happen on Saturday nights. We have a book discussion group, First Church Book Group, that is going to be talking about White Hot Hate, which is a book by Dick Lair, one of our own First Church members. We have poetry sharing that meets on Sunday afternoons at the fourth Sunday of the month. We have First Church History Group that's just begun, and we're now doing them as roundtable discussions. And the one in February is really interesting. It's going to focus on a sermon done by Gil Phillips in 1965 that talked about the John Birch Society in Belmont. So you won't want to miss that. And you could contact Sam Foster for the Zoom link for that call. We have an ongoing First Church Cooks. Richard Kersey was on with us last Saturday, and next month is going to be Jackie James, who's going to introduce us to Southern cooking. We have gather round discussions with Rachel Greenberger, and that meets on the third Saturday of each month. And we're going to be talking about kinning on this in February. We also have some special events that you should pay attention to. On February 25th, which is a Tuesday night, we are going to be listening with and to Will Brownsberger, who is our state senator. And he has been spending a great deal of time in the last several months, years perhaps, being in the forefront of all of the redistricting efforts that have been happening. And he's going to focus, the title of the program is Conflict, Integration, and Empowerment. And he's going to be talking about some of the moral and political issues that have come up along this long process. There's going to be lots of time for interaction and questions on that program. And then one other program that I wanted to tell you about is going to be happening on Sunday, February 13th at 5:30 in the afternoon. And that is going to be, the title of that program is The New World of Genome Editing, Clinical Promise and Ethical Considerations. And that is being done by our very own First Church member, Alan Cantor. And Alan is very much involved in the how gene editing is being used to treat disease, and also the ethical and moral implications of what we are doing with that technology. So stay tuned, because we never know. There are new programs that are going to be happening all the time. We have some interest in doing a program on how to become a vegetarian, and look for that in the very near future. So stay tuned. And now I'm going to turn it back to Chris, who's going to do a wrap up.
And wanted to lift up some of what's coming your way with religious education, or ministry to and with children, youth, and families. We have lots of our program really is going to kick off in April now. But even before then, at all of our February and March services, there'll be childcare and an opportunity for kids to play and connect with other kids who come. And then in March, we're going to have some events for middle schoolers and Families Together, which is an opportunity for kids of all ages to come. It's sort of for younger kids especially, but kids of all ages to come and play together. And then a time for parents to gather together for a quick check-in and some time to talk with small groups of parents. And then they get set free for a little free date night. Or my favorite was when we first started this program many years ago. I had a mom who would come and she would drop off her two children, just sleep in her car, because it was the only reliable sleep she could get when her two kids were very small. So, but that's coming in March. And then we have a really exciting religious education program kicking off in April. So stay tuned for more details on that, but it's about kids creating their own superheroes to combat social justice challenges. It should be really, really amazing. And a special story podcast coming your way, especially for our younger kids. And we've been recording the first many episodes of that, and that's sounding really good. So we're excited to share that in the next couple of weeks also. And then lastly, lots of opportunities to serve, lots of wonderful justice work happening. As always, your Social Action Committee has been hard at work. They have their 3 areas of focus: voting rights, where there'll be a number of opportunities to help support the good voting rights work, both sort of spearheaded through the UUA and UU the Vote efforts. And so there'll be a lot to be able to do with that in the next couple months. And then also our ongoing advocacy and support for LGBTQ plus folks. And lastly, our immigration work, which in the last couple weeks especially, there's a video you can see on the YouTube page where we talk about this family that we're hosting and the new initiative through the church. And there's a lot of opportunity to help support both that family and wider efforts. So do please reach out if there's any questions you have about any of this. Lillian and Ian and I and all of the staff are here to help answer any questions, or if you'd like to know more about any of these things that we were mentioning, we can also help channel you towards the many volunteers who are helping make all this happen. So especially now in this very strange moment that we're facing, in this hopefully home stretch of this strange time, it matters even more that we're connected and that we reach out. And so know that we're here and know that there's so much exciting stuff happening. And we look forward to being back together as soon as we can, and look forward to all these other things in the interim. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. And I'll see you at one of the services coming up.
Yes, I look forward to seeing all of you in person at some point in the future.